often who said the English came and bet Irish out of us, and the Christian brothers came and bet Irish back into us. It's no wonder we're confused, he said. A Gaeilge person going to England long ago with no English suffered by virtue of the fact that they had no English. So that generated a negative attitude to the native speaker. The non-Gaeilge person who was reared under the, we'll say, Christian brother regime, not to be too unkind to them, also disliked Irish very, very much, because they said, this is a tool that is of no use to us, it won't advance my career or my life. And for that reason you had a double whammy of negative thinking. We just need to develop that, to develop our consciousness of our 2,500 year history, and get rid of these old paradigms and notions that language is a hindrance. We need to embrace language, all languages, including our own, and see where they will bring us in cultural development, in intellectual development, and indeed in economic development.
As a nation, I think we've lost our soul. The language is being sacrificed. The language, it's tokenism really, and when that enters into play, well, I think the battle is lost.
Ní bhíonn na directors, ní bhíonn de caint Gaeilge leat chud is mó gan am. Bhfuil is ní bhíonn go leor Gaeilge siúil behind the scenes.
Agus an bhain tú ó hála nach mín siad ag leabhaid na daoine tábhachtacha seo, má dhean nach leabhann siad Gaeilge. Céad an teachtaach daintas in sin nach bhain Gaeilge chomh tábhachtach leis an méle ceapan tú? nó gurn sé feargacht?
Cur sé ná feargar.
Má fear.
Cheartab má tá Gaeilge go cheartab bósat. Níl locht ag na daoine nach bhfuil Gaeilge go. Bhfuil is na daoine nach leabhar an Gaeilge.
Ní léon?
Níl locht ar.
Níl an locht áthú.
Se.
And I mean, typically students in countries outside of Ireland would come to Irish in a number of different ways. They may have Irish ancestry, number one. They may be interested in Irish music. This is another great, and especially Irish language songs. They want to learn the words. They want to learn the language. They may have studied Anglo-Irish literature. They may have studied the poetry of Heaney or Yeats and people like that, and want to immerse themselves more. And of course, we've got an absolutely wonderful medieval literature, one of the richest in Western Europe. So it's an absolute goldmine, and this is appreciated, of course, by scholars and by students in different countries as a subject worthy of study. It's, after all, it's part of Europe's heritage, and Ireland was a very, very important player in the Dark Ages and later on.
We've been disempowered. We talk about our independence. I don't think we're independent. We might have got our independence, but we're not free. We're still oppressed. We're still more oppressed than ever now. Before it used to be the British. Now we're part of this big monster called the European Union.
For instance, under the United Nations Charter of Human Rights, language is a human right, the right to your own language. The European community is based, as I said earlier, on uniformity of purpose, diversity of culture. They have now recognised Irish as an official language of Europe. So I simply draw the conclusion, and I've been using the word usage all the time, let's start using it. Let's start writing to these guys and say, right, this is us, this is what we feel about that debt, and we need to negotiate this. And you have a spin-off industry, and everybody is gaily working in Irish and making money out of it too.
Would you miss the Irish language now if the government said tomorrow you can't speak it anymore? You're not allowed it, there's no need. Would that bother you?
It would bother me, because I think everyone should speak the language and not change it for another one that came after the native language of this country. And
Onu de tak mo wadin ta me in lish le bri Martin me shi wehem got we moshe Kiecht en spree Kanyache tu modi Kanyache tu modi Need a sound Jimmy she wem got up win Gane ni ra Jimmy she wem got up win Ni le sakam kefa Kanyache shi modi Kanyache shi modi Need a sound Hula main the skelter Hula main the ruin Hula main the roughly few kinds in the dawn Kanyache tu modi Kanyache tu modi the sound Edim Sheila mi hall Edim Sheila John Edim Sheila no fat more well Need a sound Kanyache tu modi Kanyache tu modi Need a sound